Hey, fourth grade. Today in your number corner book, you are working on page 19, Stamps and Beads, page 1 of 2. Let's take a look at our problem. Leon bought a 3x6 sheet of stamps. The stamps cost 25 cents each. How much did Leon pay for the entire sheet of stamps? Question A. What is this problem asking you to figure out? Let's take a look at that question they ask us. How much did Leon pay for the entire sheet of stamps? To answer that question, we need to figure out how many stamps that he has. So we need to figure out what a 3x6 sheet of stamps means, how many stamps are in a 3x6 sheet, and we need to figure out how much he paid for all of those, if we know that each stamp costs 25 cents each. So to answer question A, what is this problem asking you to figure out? We need to figure out how many stamps there are and how much the stamps cost. Question B, write an equation for the problem. Use a letter to stand for the unknown quantity. Remember, an equation, we need that equal sign, and we need two things to be equal to each other. We're comparing two things in an equation. And when it says use a letter to stand for the unknown quantity is the number that we don't know yet. So our unknown quantity in this case is the amount that he paid for these stamps. Okay, the amount of money that the stamps cost. So for our equation, let's figure out what we need to figure out. Here we go. Okay. The first thing we need to find out is how many stamps Leon has. If we know that he has a 3x6 sheet of stamps, that's like saying he has a sheet like this. It's a 3x6 array. And we need to figure out what that area is, or how many he has. All right, 3x6. So how many stamps are there? A way we can show that by writing an equation is saying 3 by or times 6. And because this is the first thing we need to figure out in the problem, we're going to use these tools called parentheses. When you put parentheses around a part of the equation, that means that that is the first thing you need to solve. You need to solve whatever's inside the parentheses before moving on to any other part of the equation. So that's the first thing we need to solve. Now, when we solve this, we need to figure out how much we have all together if we know that each of these equals or costs 25 cents. So when we hear that clue word each of them, we need to multiply. So we're going to multiply this answer by 25 because we know that each costs 25 cents. But now we need that unknown quantity. So I'm going to make my equal sign here. And for unknown quantity, I'm going to use an S because it stands for stamps. All right, so there's our equation for this problem. Now let's look at C. Use this space to solve the problem. Show all your work, including numbers, words, or labeled sketches. Write a complete sentence at the bottom of this page to show the answer. So we know that the first thing we need to solve is 3 times 6. You can use an array, you can use your multiplication facts, you can use skip counting. I know that 3 times 6 equals 18. If I counted by 6's 3 times, 6, 12, 18, or if I counted by 3's 6 times, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. All right, so we solved that. Now we just need to figure out what 18 times 25 is to find our unknown quantity. All right. So solving this multi-digit multiplication problem can get a little tricky, so I'm going to show you a few tips. First, I'm going to draw the same sketch that we used up top, that array, to represent my 18 stamps. And this is going to help me figure out our answer a lot quicker. So I'm going to draw my 6 by 3 array. And I'm just doing this so I have a visual as to how many stamps I have. All right, there's our second column, third column, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And I need my first row, my second row, and my third row. Now all together here I have 18 stamps. And now we know we've got our 18 stamps here, and we know that each of these costs 25 cents. Now, ask yourselves, what do we know about 25 cents? How many 25 cents or quarters would we need to get to $1? How many quarters would we need to get to $1? Well, we need 4 to get to $1. So let's group these. I'll write it out really quick. 25, 25. We're going to group these by 4s so we can see how many dollars we need. All right. There we go. I'm going to use a different color. And I see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. There is $1. I see a group of 4 right here. That is $2. I see a group of 4 here. $3. I see a group of 4 here, and that's $4. But hold on. I don't have a full group here. I only have 2 quarters, or 2 25 cents. So to write that in our decimal or money notation, we'll say we have 0 full dollars and 50 cents. Okay, so we need to add those $4 plus the 50 cents. And we end up with $4.50. So to write this as a full sentence, a complete sentence, we're going to say Leon needs $4.50. And that is our answer. If you had a different way to show your work for this multiplication problem, we're going to be talking about this next week. So save your work. Nice job.